What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the May 23rd meeting.
Second.
Ready for your approval, Mr. Chairman.
Item, so we'll go right into debate.
I'm going to handle these. Mr. Gordon is under the weather this morning, and I asked him not to get near me, so.
Thank you.
The first one I have for you is a contract with Duke's Root Control. This is for I&I microdetection study. Part of the Harlem system, we've been looking for infiltration into our system of stormwater, groundwater. It's raw water to our treatment plant. Take a lot of it using smoke testing. This system will actually go in and monitor manholes. This is about 13.5 miles of sewer line that we'll monitor. We'll be able to pinpoint the location of our infiltration into our system. Hopefully we can get that down. Every bit of infiltration that goes into that system, we're treating that water. It's costing us money. We're exceeding our capacity at the Harlem plant. We got a plan to fix that in process already, but when we take our new line all the way to our other treatment plant, we're still going to be treating groundwater, stormwater that doesn't need to be treated. The amount of $82,225 and staff's recommend approval.
So it's 60 days?
They will monitor for 60 days, collect this data between every manhole. They can pinpoint where our flows are increasing. They
We
don't,
have to have enough fall time frame.
yeah, I would assume we need some good rainfall, groundwater. Mark, you want to, or Nathan, talk about it at all?
So basically, they'll monitor the rain as well, and you're correct. You do need a specific amount of rainfall. So if they have to monitor for a little bit longer, that can be a part of this as well. But we'll be monitoring during some pretty wet months as we go. So I'm expecting to get enough rain to make this happen.
That's from Milledgeville Road south to the county line. That study will be.
Basically, everything in Harlem south of Milledgeville Road. We've turned the rest around, and it already pumps this way. It's just a good dividing line, and that's where a lot of our I&I issues are.
On the other side, or something we'll have to do again on the other section of the system?
Most of the older sewer and the issues are on that side of town.
Move to consent.
Second.
Next I have for you is a tower site land license with T-Mobile. The High Meadows laydown yard. This is directly across the street from our water utility. T-Mobile has approached us about putting a tower there. They're looking for a 60 by 60 section of property. County property. $18,000 per year lease, $5,000 sign-on bonus, plus after they get more than one on the tower, we get a $250 per user addition to our monthly fee. They do have a due diligence process to go through, so they can back out if they don't get their permits, if they don't get their license, if they don't get a back out. There's a 2% escalation clause in here per year. Also reserve a space on the tower from the, I believe, 90 foot to the 100 foot for us to use at no charge. Space in the equipment for 911 needs. Full picture, we are aware of 2 other towers in that same area. Broadband's been approached about potentially putting one at Patriots Park. The Merchants Association has been approached about putting one on their property. I'm not sure that all 3 go. I think whoever gets there first probably gets all the business. But this would give us a lease if this tower was the one that goes.
And when you say users, you mean other cell phone service providers, and that should improve.
For some reason I thought more independent companies put up the towers and
Typically do, that's right. When the broadband was approached by was an independent company, they're looking to build and put tenants. Actually, it says bottom, so BBBTS LLC at independent.
That's right.
Consent.
second.
Section 4 is a contract with U.S. Peroxide for our bulk hydrogen peroxide purchase. $221,930. This will be for our oxidation process, the UV stored in tanks that we have in our plant. $4.69 per gallon. This is part of our increased cost that we have. Rates $1,000 for the buck.
What,
So that's just like a gas tank?
They will as needed. This system won't run year round. It's only during the taste and odor session, so this
Okay.
isn't, it's not constantly being dumped into our system. It's when we have that UV system running, we'll need this product, but yeah, and fill our tanks as needed.
what's the update on the system?
So they were trying to turn the Clark Hill plant on last week. They had some issues with talking to each other. Have they resolved that yet?
Still ongoing.
Trying to get fire the system up. Right behind it with the next one.
Second.
So moved.
We have already a change order, Adora, change order number 1. This is for the force main to Uchee Creek project. This is the force main that comes out of the White Oak area. During design, we realized that we had a nasty ravine in our way. We're asking to go around that ravine. It's going to be about 2 miles of located design. And we also have about 2 miles of relocation due to a conflict with Georgia Power. We were trying to follow the Georgia Power easement. However, we have a conflict with their fiber project, so they're not willing to grant us the easement because our sewer line, fiber line, have to relocate. It comes to $94,900 to redesign these 4 miles of.
Had not purchased any property.
No, sir, we have not.
That's gonna affect just the timeline. Yeah, once the design work is done, then obviously we have to acquire the right of way.
Correct. It's probably 60 days in design, I would say, 60 days. Not our major one, though. Harlem.
Right.
Our major one, it'll about to bid October, November, so that one's still pushing. Not as critical, but it will change our ability to grow at White Oak.
Can you wait until after the design to contact the property owners?
We will, yeah. We gotta have a good design and process in place before we acquire property.
Move to consent.
Second.
Moved.
Next one is change order number 2 with Ardura. This is for the Jim Blanchard and Clarksville Taste and Odor project, the UV project. Contract was put together for the design engineer. That was a 12-month construction period. The contract was priced at that. We're at month 21. The engineering firm has been helping us with the construction for 10 months longer than their contract stated. They're asking for the payment for those 10 months, $78,685 is the cost. So once the design was completed, we realized there was no way to build this thing in 12
I was gonna say, is there any way to take it out of the money that we're paying for the firm for the system?
months. So I've talked to Stacy about it. Any kind of LDs for delay that we spend money with this firm that we shouldn't have, cover those costs at the end.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
Good work.
I just believe.
Yes, sir. The first item we have for your consideration is the purchase of signal equipment for traffic signal upgrades at Evans to Locks Road and Columbia Industrial Boulevard, Evans to Locks at North Bel Air Road, and North Bel Air Road at Evans Town Center Boulevard. This is part of the 17 to 22 SPLOST transportation improvements. Staff identified 6 intersections we wanted to upgrade from span wire and wooden poles to mast arms. 3 of those were having designed by a consultant. Those are on the Washington Road corridor. These 3 here before you have been designed by staff internally and will be constructed by staff internally if approved. This is for the purchase of all the signal equipment to upgrade these 3 intersections from span wire to the mast arms. We're requesting the board's approval to make these purchases in an amount not to exceed $500,000. Staff recommends approval.
Can you explain the benefit?
Sure. So in addition to improving the Evans Town Center area, the aesthetics of the Evans Town Center area, this also greatly enhances the signal detection, vehicular detection on these signals. So instead of having them on a post at an angle, the cameras on a post at an angle pointed toward the car, we can actually put them right over the lanes, all the cameras at all 4 approaches over the lanes, and get much better detection.
Will you remind me of the cost savings from our staff doing the work versus outside contractor?
We save anywhere from half to 2/3. So if we sent these same signals out to be, if we bid them out, we would estimate somewhere between $1 and $1.5 million
Move to consent quickly.
Second.
The next item we have is a construction contract with Blair Construction for the Miramar Drive Storm Sewer Extension Project. Miramar Drive is located as you turn off of Washington Road onto Columbia Road. It's the first, I believe it's the first road on the left. Down Miramar Drive, there is several houses that have basically a ravine, a very deep ditch that's unmaintainable for the normal property owners. So we would like to pipe that system. It is not a environmentally sensitive area. It is just a ditch. So we have had a design assembled, and we've publicly advertised and bid that project. The bids came in at, the low bid was $2.8 million originally. Staff negotiated with Blair Construction to get the bid down to $2,326,939. This would be funded out of 1722 SPOST stormwater. Staff recommends approval.
Why? Busy or?
It was
project?
when we bid this one about 5 or 6 months ago. It's taken us a little while to negotiate with Blair, but it was a very busy time in the market, and that's why.
To consent.
Second.
This next item is a construction contract with Reeves Construction for the past culvert replacement. Currently, there are two. There's a double barrel, I believe it's like a 9-foot culvert, two 9-foot culverts under the pass. They're currently highly corroded metal pipes that need to be replaced. Staff procured a design firm to design the replacement, and the most cost benefit solution was a arch culvert. This has been designed. It was publicly advertised to be replaced, with the low bidder being Reeves Construction in the amount of $1,990,546.75. This would be funded out of the SPOST 1722 as well. Staff recommends approval.
Not be closed. Construction's going on.
It will not. Some of the bidders reached out to Mr. Slaughter and myself and asked if we could close that road during construction so we could improve bid prices, et cetera. But we specifically asked the design consultant to design a bypass road for the construction so that we didn't have to close the pass. That road serves a tremendous amount of residents. So we designed it that way, and the road will stay open. There will be some traffic control in place, so there will be some delays, but the road will stay open.
Move to consent.
Second.
Move.
This next item is an independent contractor agreement with Civil Solutions for UV pipelining on Stonington Drive. There's a sinkhole that formed at these addresses, 250 and 252 Stonington Drive. Staff cameraed the storm drainage system, realized the pipe had completely failed and collapsed in the place of the sinkhole, and that section had to be replaced. However, the remainder of the pipe was in structurally sufficient condition to line it. So Stormwater Operations is going to replace from the road through the failed section and then have the remainder lined if the board approves. The contract will be in the amount of $65,474. Staff recommends approval.
Consent.
Second.
This next item is Resolution 23-31. It's a project delivery agreement with GDOT for the Hardin McManus Road widening project. This is the agreement that allows the county to deliver the project, the construction of the project. Staff recommends approval.
We select the 3% fee, is that correct?
But more importantly, we get to oversee it.
Right. Second.
The next item is the indication of roundabout support for roundabout at Wrightsboro Road at Baker Place Road intersection. This is a project that we've had developers approach us about contributing on, and of course on a GDOT route. The GDOT Safety Office has identified it as a needed project. They've run a benefit cost analysis on it. In order to fund the project, GDOT has requested a commitment of $605,000 from the county. Total project is estimated to be $2.8 million. I believe that's low, but that's what it's estimated to be by GDOT. I've requested from them specifically if it exceeds that budget, will the county be asked to pay for more? And they said, no, this 605 is fixed. So this would, this letter of support would commit the county to $605,000 toward the construction. In addition, we would be responsible for the lighting cost, the installation and the maintenance cost, as well as the maintenance of the right-of-way.
Timetable on this?
Not yet. This would be the next step in getting the project programmed.
How long or all as development take place with a couple of out there? My mind.
Sure, I'd be scared to guess or estimate GDOT's delivery schedule, but if I had to guess, I would say it'd be another year before they actually had a consultant on board to design this. Slaughter, correct me if you think otherwise, and then another year and a half for design, and then probably another year to build it, so we're 3 or 4 years out, I would say. So this is the next step.
Consent.
Second.
Move.
The next item is another indication of roundabout support for a roundabout, this one at Columbia Road and Louisville Road. This does not have a construction commitment, but it does have a commitment of lighting and maintenance of the right-of-way, similar to the one at Baker Place and Wrightsboro Road. Staff recommends approval.
To update us on, I know GDOT's been studying the other side of Louisville Road at Wrightsboro Road, and they just continue to look at that intersection for possible improvements. Yeah,
so that intersection is a function of the IJR and the interchange at I-20. So that is going to be studied and designed along with that project. Staff currently, GDOT reached out to staff about potential improvements at that intersection in the immediate, and we suggested, based on the benefit cost analyses they ran and all the options that they proposed, there was one option. Slaughter may have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it was between $20,000 and $50,000 to upgrade signage and striping of that intersection in the immediate without investing too much prior to understanding how that intersection is fully impacted. Our recommendation, but it will be a part of the interchange project.
Have any idea? Acted?
10 years, 12.
Or all we've seen is the scoping money. We haven't seen any construction money yet. We haven't even seen design money. All we've seen is concept money.
We could do some sort of temporary help for that intersection. I think that would be folks that travel that way.
Well, we can reach out to GDOT and ask for an update to see if they've decided if they're going to move in one direction or the other and provide a report back.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
The next item is a construction contract for Tier 2 resurfacing Group 2 with E.R. Snell. This is for the resurfacing of Oakley, Perkle Road, South Old Bel Air Road, Wrightsboro Road, Faircloth Drive and Library Drive behind us, Government Center Way. This is in the amount of $4,083,282.40. The contractor will have 180 calendar days to complete surfacing. Staff recommends approval.
And this will start pretty quick.
As soon as the board approves, we'll work on contracts. Usually takes about a month, and then we'll issue a notice to proceed.
Have full board approval by 18th.
Right.
Not that quick.
August before they start, the earliest.
Move to consent.
Second.
The next item is a supplemental agreement number 1 with GDOT for White Oak Road, County Line Road, and Sawdust Road resurfacing. This was Tier 2 Group 1 resurfacing. The board's already approved. The bids came in over budget due to price increases and the market volatility. Staff reached out to the T office, asked if they would be supplementing the budgets at all with any inflation. They agreed to 3% per year, so this is another $555,753.02 for this package of roads for us to reimburse.
Move to consent.
Second.
This next item is change order number 1 with Keck and Wood for the 2022 traffic signal mast arm upgrade project. The first item that we discussed was for this pertaining to 3 signals that staff did in-house, and 3 signals that I'd mentioned 3 signals that we had being designed along Washington Road by a consultant. This is that contract. This is change order with Keck and Wood. The original design for the North Bel Air at Washington mast arms, because of the skew of the North Bel Air approach, required 2 mast arms going over North Bel Air Road, right there at Chicken Fingers and Lowe's. I looked at it with them, with Keck and Wood, and asked if it would be possible to straighten out that skew, because it is kind of a little bit of a quirky skew. As you go over Washington Road, you have to come back toward Lowe's. So we're going to straighten that out, and by doing that, we'll only be required to put up 1 mast arm. So this is for a change order to redesign that intersection, to improve that intersection, to soften that skew, and also only have 1 mast arm instead of 2. It also has a little bit of mast arm rework at the Evans to Locks and Washington Road intersection. I didn't really like how that was laid out. It wasn't uniform with the other signals on that corridor, so provide a price to revise that design as well. So this for a change order in the amount of $28,945 with Keck and Wood. Staff recommends approval.
I would imagine that would be an overall savings to not have that additional mast arm to straighten out the.
Absolutely.
Off, it's still right only, or
Fair cloth will be left out of, prohibitive left off of fair cloth, so yeah, right only. Correct, yes, sir.
Second.
so moved.
This next item is for prior rights research. It's a contract with survey and mapping for the Hard McManus Road widening project. If you recall, in mid-2021, we entered a similar contract with survey and mapping for the Horizon South Parkway widening project. That contract was about $20,000. Surveying and mapping only billed us for $15,800, but they saved in that project $465,000. So it was definitely a good contract. Basically, they go in and they require Georgia Power, who is relocating, or any other utilities relocating their utilities, they require that they provide proof of prior rights. And ultimately, if they can't, then they can't charge us to relocate their utilities. This contract with surveying mapping is for $22,925. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
So moved.
This next item is a street sign IGA, or intergovernmental agreement with the City of Lincolnton. Our sign office or sign department in Roads and Bridges has provided a couple of street signs in the past for the City of Lincolnton to help out. The city has requested for us to provide more signage. Mr. Schlotter got involved and asked that, if we're going to continue providing signage, have an IGA and being reimbursed for this signage. So this is an IGA so that City of Lincolnton has a mechanism to request, and we have a mechanism to be reimbursed for our expenses for the street signs that we provide to the City of Lincolnton.
Move to consent.
Next item is a Title VI Plan Annual Renewal for Transportation. We do this every year. In order to receive federal funds, we must have a Title VI plan in place. There are no changes to the current plan. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
So moved.
And the final item is acceptance of improvements and non-exclusive perpetual easements for the Piedmont Prompt Care at Greenpoint. This is for some small sanitary sewer easements and the infrastructure in those easements. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
So moved. Driver, morning. Thank you, sir. Staff reports, please.
We have our year-to-date budget report for the water utility.
Rain getting into your budget a little bit? Mine too.
We'll point out that if you look at our expenditures, it shows that we're only 70% expenditures. Have not made our bond payments yet. That's about a $6 million check we're gonna Leanne to print out for us, so that number will go up a lot here pretty quick. Our work performance measure.
Just a quick question on, maybe done, I don't recall, and we were changing out the meters to the, is that done?
It is not done. We had we're probably about 3 years out, Mark, on being done with that project, the meter change out. During COVID, we lost the ability to buy these meters, so we couldn't replace existing meters. We were holding them for new customers. I think they're starting to free back up now, though. We're starting to get them again.
Budgeting replacements of the one, I don't know how long we've been doing this, like a long time, but
Have a lot of meters.
5,000 customers out there, and house staff to replace them, so.
Remind me on the water utility construction projects list, the red.
Red means we've actually made some sort of change, progress, work, made a payment, something's happened.
Commissioners or public comment? We are adjourned, 9:05.